August this summer, shortly before classes start again in the fall. The travel seminar is about 2 weeks, and we'll be going to Pátzcuaro in Michoacán, Mexico. Some of the goals of this trip are to learn about the culture in Mexico cities and towns, and about the role of the family and social services, to learn about the impact of immigration in Mexico, not just the impact here, but the impact it has on the families left behind in Mexico, and a wonderful opportunity for a cultural experience by immersion. This is also a service learning class, and one of the options is to work with children, and the other is to work with elders. You may not be familiar with service learning. Probably some of you are. Service learning is a way of applying classroom learning to a real-life situation where you help with a community service project. And it's a wonderful way to make that kind of learning real and see how well it fits in the real world. This is a map of Mexico, and those of you who've been to Mexico, if you have been to the beach, this is going to be very different because Pátzcuaro is in the mountains. Beautiful area about halfway between Mexico City and Guadalajara. Beautiful area. You'll get a little bit better idea from this map here. The lake that is near Pátzcuaro is beautiful. It's all surrounded by mountains, and there are little villages all around the lake. You can see the lake a little clearer here. And the city of Pátzcuaro is a beautiful place. You'll have some free time to explore it and learn more about it. It has colonial architecture, old churches. This is one of the plazas. There's 2 plazas, and this is the larger one. A lot of things happen in the plazas. This is an example of a celebration that is occurring there for children. There are all kinds of things happening. This is an example, one of the old churches there. Things in Mexico are so much older than they seem to be in Iowa, and these churches are very old. This is the hotel where we'll be staying. It's a family-run hotel, and you can see it's in kind of a garden setting. There are fruit trees, and it's all enclosed by a wall, as is common in Mexico. And it's really a very lovely place. You'll get a chance to get to know the family, and they will be a kind of a big part of our experience while we're there as well. Here's one of the rooms. The rooms will be 4 people to a room, so you'll be sharing 1 bath for 4 people. Each person will have their own bed. Here's the family. Sylvia is the mother. She runs the hotel, and these are the 2 children, and they have a St. Bernard dog. This hotel is a little bit on the edge of town, and in order to get to where you can catch one of the little buses or combis, you'll need to walk down this road, and there will be quite a lot of walking on this trip. There is one of these little buses that actually comes right by the hotel, but it doesn't come very often, so most likely you'll choose to walk up this road to get to where you can catch one of those little buses. So this is my assistant, Alicia, who lives in the village of Nocutsepo. She's a wonderful woman who lives there with her family and her kids, and she will be helping us with the seminar while we're there, and we'll also visit her home in Nocutsepo. One of the reasons we've arranged this trip is that many of the immigrants in Iowa from Mexico come from this part of Mexico, which is called Michoacán. So you'll have an opportunity to learn more about that culture of that particular group of people who live in Michoacán. There's a number of requirements that are associated with this trip. There are 2 seminars that will take place during the summer, and you'll have to be able to attend those seminars. There will be reading assigned prior to the trip and some assignments relating to the reading. You will need to travel with the group throughout the trip. This is isn't like traveling alone or with your family. You are definitely going to be part of the group, and we will be responsible for you while you're on the trip. You'll need to complete all the activities that are part of the seminar, and there'll be group reflection activities every evening, and you'll have to participate in those as well as write in a journal every day while you're on the trip. And then after we get back in September, there'll be a follow-up seminar that will be held where you talk a little bit about what you learned and how you put it all together after you got back, and a short paper that will be due about a month after we get back. In addition, we're hoping that you will be able to participate in a presentation at the school social work about your experience, which gives you a chance to pass on what you learned to other students and staff and faculty. The schedule while you're on the trip: on most weekdays, we'll have a morning session and discussion after breakfast, and then you will have a service learning period for about 3 hours at your service learning site. I'll be telling you more about that. Then you have some free time in the afternoon, and you'll be getting a meal while you're on that free time. You can also go to an internet place to check email, write in your journal, do some visiting in the area, explore things, buy some crafts, whatever you'd like to do with that time. And then in the evening, we will have discussion and reflection meetings. In addition to those basic things, we'll be having some orientation activities. We'll all make a trip to Nokutsepo. There'll be some additional day trips to see some of the surrounding communities where you'll have a chance to see crafts, some of the ruins that were there before the Spanish came, churches, and we will have some guest speakers who will come either in the morning or the evening to talk to us, in addition to your free time that you'll have to explore. Okay, so I want to tell you about the service learning, which will be about 3 hours a day during the weekdays. You'll choose to either work with the older adults or children, and you'll be with that group the whole time. The two groups with the elders, you'll be working with what's called an asilo de ancianos, which is sort of along the lines of a rest home. It doesn't have a high level of health care and nursing, so we wouldn't consider it a nursing home according to our standards. And the picture on the left shows you a scene with the students meeting with the residents of the nursing home, the rest home. And the other one is called an hogar de niños, which is a kind of a large group home for boys. It isn't exactly an orphanage because these children often do have family members and maybe parents, but they live in this group home during the week. So I'm going to give you more information about both those places. In addition to these two, there'll be a group working with children in Nokutsubo, and I'm going to show you a few pictures of that. Last year, the students worked with these kids and had lots of kids come. I think the first day there were like 40, and the last day there were 60. And so what we may do is divide this group into two, and some students will work maybe with the young